OIC underground injection is a federal program that the state of Ohio has been given primacy, where we oversee the federal regulations for Class 2 injection wells. So therefore, we issue the permits, we do the inspections and the oversight on a yearly basis for that activity, as well as the natural gas drilling and the oil and gas well drilling and plugging of the wells.
In order for a state to receive primacy of its underground injection control program, it must have regulations that are at least as stringent as the federal EPA regulations for injection wells. In Ohio, in 1983, we passed laws in the Ohio Revised Code and rules within the Ohio Administrative Code that actually are more stringent than federal EPA regulations for Class 2 saltwater disposal wells. We made it very easy with a lower fee for permitting to see an increase in injection wells, because that is the safe and best management practice for disposal of these fluids produced from the oil field, whether it be the drilling fluids from the drilling operation or the fracture fluids from the fracking operation and the production brines that are produced after the well is in operation. Basically what we see in injection wells, we have two different types. Either somebody comes in and actually permits to drill a brand new well for a disposal well for injection, or they may have an existing production well that is no longer commercially productive, and then they convert that to an injection well. The requirements for injection wells are far more stringent than regular production wells. I can tell you that since the state of Ohio has had primacy of the underground injection control system since 1983, we've had no subsurface contamination issues related to underground injection and control.
And what if there is a leak and it does destroy the water around? What happens then?
Well,
and I only say that because I heard it on the news about Ashtabula, how several of their water supplies are now shot because of these injection wells.
If there is a catastrophic failure, the company is responsible for replacing the public water supply. They're going to have to take remedial action to bring people's water in.
And why are we bringing in things from other states? Why are we bringing this brine in? Is it being a federal program, is the state of Ohio getting money for bringing these in to our state?
There is a fee that just went into effect midsummer, that for any brine brought to a disposal well, there's a in-district and out-of-district fee that's paid to the state of Ohio.
And how much is that?
It's 10 cents a barrel for in-district, and 5 cents, I'm sorry, for in-district and 20 cents for out-of-district.
But I will tell you, because of the shale plays, we are seeing an increase in a number of applications and permits being issued for injection wells. I've issued more in 2010 than I had since 1994. So it is increasing because Ohio does have primacy, and we do have some favorable geologic formations that are capable of taking this fluid is part of the reason that we're seeing a lot of the fluids coming over here. In order for you to haul any oil field fluids in Ohio, you must register with our Division of Mineral Resources Management. It requires a $15,000 surety bond, $600,000 in insurance, and you have to track these fluids in the oil field cradle to grave.
Now these fluids, are the fumes toxic at all? I mean, the fumes have to go someplace.
I mean, you obviously get residues from petroleum products, which you'll get what's called the BTEX, the benzene, ethyl benzene, toluene, and xylene, which are hydrocarbon products, the same products that everybody gets at the gas station when they fill up their gas tank. And it's also, as I think Vanessa's aware, these are called volatile organic compounds, so they dissipate extremely rapidly in the environment.
What about the chemicals or the fluids that are used at the fracturing?
Basically, normal frac jobs in Ohio, like a Clinton well, we were looking at probably 90 to 100,000 gallons of fluid used. On these shale play frac jobs, we're seeing, because of the horizontal drilling, multi-stage frac jobs, we're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 million gallons. 99.5% of that fluid is fresh water and sand. There's 0.5% are chemicals.
Most wells are vertical. But when you do the Marcellus Shale, you bring the well down, you turn it sideways, and you blow this high-pressured chemical stuff into the shale to release the gas. There's a certain amount of that water stays in the ground. According to this publication from ODNR, about 15 to 20% doesn't, and that's called the flowback water. And the flowback water is what they're trucking out to put somewhere else. And as it says in this publication, flowback water may also contain low levels of naturally occurring radioactive elements such as radium carried up from the shale. Flowback water containing high levels of salts and other contaminants is sent to facilities that have permits to inject fluids into deep injection wells called Class 2 wells, thousands of feet underground. And that's what you're hearing about. And then they say, to the extent, though, we are going to see an increase in Marcellus Shale drilling in Ohio, whether it's in Geauga County or more concentrated in Columbiana County, that flowback water's got to go somewhere. And it's going to go towards these injection wells, because you got to put it somewhere. So the concern I continue to have with this is, while we, from an economic viewpoint, oil and gas drilling is an economic revenue source in Ohio and creates jobs, the safety of the groundwater, the safety of the residents, the protection of your property values still hinges on all this going right. How long would it take to take a played-out well in Geauga County and turn it into an injection well?
Typically, if it's an application to convert an injection from a production well to an injection well, like I say, one of the requirements is a public notice in the paper of general circulation. That requirement requires a public notice run 1 day in the paper. The public has 15 calendar days to file comments or objections to the permit application. Objections have to be based on relevancy to threats to human health, safety, or conservation of natural resources. If the objections are deemed relevant, then we hold a public hearing. We bring in a court reporter. We do like we do right now and allow people to ask questions, and then after the public hearing would be over, the chief determines whether the permit is to be issued or not.